I usually reserve these more contemplative type ramblings for Substack, but I felt like this one was so pertinent to the YouTube space, so I thought I would talk about it here. This is just gonna be a bit of a ramble, but I wanna talk about gear acquisition syndrome. At the start of the year, I told myself, no new gear. I was gonna focus on the storytelling, the craft, the taking of the photos versus the gear I used to take those photos. And for a while, I was doing really, really well. But here we are, 9 months into the year, and I have fallen, so significantly off the wagon. I have tested an absurd number of cameras this month. Let's just list them, okay? The Canon R5 Mark II, the Canon R6 Mark III, the Nikon Z6 Mark III, the Leica M11, the Fuji X Pro 3, the Fuji X-E5, and of course my Sony a7C II, which is kind of where I started all of this because I was feeling like that camera just wasn't one I have been able to make myself click with yet. Which in fairness is because I never pull it out of the drawer. It's just not the camera I gravitate towards, and I thought, okay, there's a problem here. If I'm not pulling it out, then I need to replace it or sell it or do something. If you're a photographer and you're watching this, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about here. You get into this cycle of that nagging feeling that something is not right, you're missing something, it's just not like you're not inspired, you're not feeling it, and you're like, okay, the camera. We're gonna change the camera and that will make it all good. So you start hunting and you get into that chase of like, ooh, I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole of YouTube on this camera, and then I'm gonna look at the lens specs and like what's available for that mount, and then you're gonna just keep researching and researching, and the researching has got like this feeling of accomplishment to it. You are making decisions, you are figuring stuff out, and then you go, okay, I've ordered that camera, and you get that high, you're like, oh my God, it's gonna be here in 3 days, I'm gonna wait, and I'm like so excited, and I'm starting to order all the accessories to kit it out with because I just gotta like customize it to make it my own. And then it gets there and you get that high and you open the box and you're like, oh! And then in like a couple weeks, you're kind of like, it's a camera. It's a camera. I sat with my 6-year-old daughter last night. She's really into animals right now. And so we watched this movie called The Last Rhino, A New Hope. I think that was the name of it. And I knew nothing about this movie. It was just something that my daughter was really excited to watch because it came up on Disney Plus or whatever. And I had no idea that like one of the main characters and narrators of this film was Ami Vitale. Ami Vitale is a photographer I have followed for a long time, and I hadn't thought of her in a while, but she was one of those female photojournalists that I was in awe of in my 20s and who I wanted to be, along with a handful of other incredible women who were out in the field doing this thing that I wanted to do. And well, I got so emotional watching the film, and it just clicked for me. Psychologists have this term they call the extended self, which is just that your purchases are a reflection of who you see yourself as or who you want to become. So for example, Leica. Leica's not a camera. Leica is a legacy. It's a connection to prolific, historic photographers. It's a community. Yes, it's a beautiful, chiseled piece of handmade gorgeousness at an exorbitant price, but there you go. It's telling the world, it's signaling class, taste, wealth. It is all of these things wrapped up in a physical form. And then you have Fuji. You're a hipster. You're signaling a different kind of analog aesthetic. You have a different vibe about you. You've got Canon, reliable, professional, Sony, innovative, Nikon, Red, like whatever. All of these things are signaling something, and when we buy them, it's a marker for who we want to be or how we want to be in the world. By the way, this is not just photography, obviously. This is literally the engine of capitalism itself, because we are always figuring out who we are and changing who we want to be and aspiring to new things. And how that looks in a capitalist society is gas. That is all of it. It's just cycling on itself. We have to acquire to become. So in The Last Rhinos, Ami Vitale is shooting with whatever is at her disposal. She's got like a Nikon D850, a Nikon Z7, I know because I looked it up and she has it on her website. She is a Nikon ambassador. And so of course, immediately I'm like, okay, well that Nikon Z6 III is probably the right move, because if I get that camera, I will also be out in Africa shooting the last great white rhinos of Northern Africa. This is absurd, you guys. This is how the brain works, or at least this is how my brain works. I was buying into a purpose. And that is where I want to go with this whole film. It's not the gear, it's the reason for using the gear. And that's what we're missing. And we're trying to fill that hole with all of this acquisition, all of this consumerist appetite to try to solve what is a spiritual problem. I'm gonna spit, it's so passionate. Watching Amy just grab a camera as if it wasn't even there. It's literally a tool in service of her mission, her purpose, her reason for being. And that is what I have been missing. And that is why I am not happy with my gear. The gear has nothing to do with it. And if I could just put the gas to rest and say, you know what? I have what I have. Now let's go find a purpose to use that equipment. The equipment should serve the mission, right? When I was doing 1936, that A850 was perfect because I kitted it out in a way that was representative of how people shot in 1936. It would have been probably great on a large format or a press camera as well, you know, like find the thing you want to do and then get the gear to support that mission. And then you can sell the gear at the end of it. So that's the video for today. If you're having any kind of similar struggles, I'd be curious to hear how you think about it and what you're going through. Real moments. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye until then.